Welcome back to the May Experience podcast. Thank y'all for tuning back in. I'm back in full effect. I've been working a lot. A lot has transpired in the last few weeks since I last recorded. So thank y'all for tuning in. And we got a lot to talk about today. As you see, I got on my free honeycomb brazy hoodie. Free honeycomb brazy. He from Mobile, Alabama. Like I told y'all, I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So I'm repping my state. It don't matter. I'm gonna rep my state first and before I rep any other state. But we'll talk a little more about him and his situation with the law later on in this segment. But as y'all know, I want to start off by some good reading with Nothing Is Missing, the Nicole Walters story. Like I told you, I love this book and it's so encouraging. And so I like to start off with it because I want to drop some gems. I want to drop some knowledge. And in chapter 4, because I told y'all I read the book before, and so I'm starting over again. So in chapter 4, she started this chapter. The name of chapter 4 is Show Up as If the Room is a Stadium. And she talked about how she would show up at different events, and even if there weren't a lot of people there, she would still give it her all, and as if it's a stadium full of people. And we have to realize just because a lot of people don't show up for us and a lot of people are not there, we still have to give it our all. We still have to put in the work no matter what. We got to get up every day and put in work. And I told my son that one day. I told him, I said, look, son, you great. And I want you to continue to be great. I said, but you have to put in the work. So every day we need to show up as if we're in a stadium, even if we're in a room. We're going to show up like we're in a stadium. One quote that stuck out to me in this chapter, she said, girl, you're a cute, smart, educated black girl. And it's so funny that I just ran into that. When I tell y'all, I opened this book and I got so much stuff underlined, and because it's so encouraging to me. And like I told you, her story to me is just, I see myself in so many ways through what she went through and through her life stories and how she feels. I recently found out today, I told you I had a nonprofit. So I found out today that my nonprofit, as of August 4th, 2024, my nonprofit was a 501c3, tax exempt through the IRS, y'all. When I tell you, I started my nonprofit 5 years ago with a blanket drive here in my hometown in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Back in like 2018, I was staying in Atlanta, and my son and I, when I would take him to school, I was working with the school system up there. And when I would take him to school, we would see homeless people laying around on the ground. It'd be so cold outside. They'd be on benches on the sidewalk. Atlanta homelessness is on another level compared to a lot of places I've been. But and we were like, we're gonna help them one day, and as a child growing up, I always wanted to help. So when we moved back home, I think around 2020, that's when I started saying, like, look, I'm ready to do a blanket drive. It was cold one day. Me and my son was in the house. It was freezing cold, and I was like, let's just go on Facebook and try to collect some blankets. And we started collecting blankets, asking people for donations. Then we started collecting blankets, and people were giving socks and everything. And we would just go out in the community and give them out. And so each year since then, we would hold our blanket drive and take up donations. And now that I'm a 501c3, I want to do things differently. I'm more so going to take financial donations where I could utilize and spend the money the way I need to spend it, where I don't have to go meet up with people here, there, and everywhere. And it's also a tax write-off. So I have a lot of work to do. I have to get some letters together. So when I get these donations, you will receive a letter for that tax write-off. So I do want y'all to help connect me with some people, some individuals, some businesses that will help me have some donors, help me get some donations. And the last 2 years, I've actually been studying to become a 501c3. I've been studying the IRS website. I've been Googling. I've been asking for information. And I reached out to the UA, a local college here, to get some free legal assistance. And when I started working with them, they were telling me that, you really did all the work, really. But they were like, we need to go back through the state and change your license and and change your certificate of formation. And so when I reached out to the state, they was like, no, you seem to have everything you need. So I applied through the IRS for a 501c3, and I got the letter today. When I tell y'all, today has been an eventful day, a day full of events. This whole week I was offered a new position on my job. And so, the thing about it is the fact that the letter says that as of August 4th, 2024, it just showed me that God prepares things for me without me even knowing. So I'm considered a 501c3 as of August 4th. But as of today, I just found out today. So I've been a nonprofit for 6-7 months now. And so I feel so good. And I know I was like, y'all, what is the success? What is success to you? What does success mean to you? And what does being successful? Because for me, it's two different things. Success to me means you're completing these obstacles. You're taking on these obstacles. You're setting these goals. And when you finish them, you've succeeded in them. And you're successful in it. And being successful in life, I feel like I'm finally at a point that I could feel like I'm successful because I've been knocking out these goals. And for my nonprofit, my baby that I love so much, the Estelle May Foundation, to be a 501c3 tax exempt, you know how much that means to me? Do you know how big of a deal that is? It's like, when I read the letter earlier, it was like, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, I can believe it because I applied and I know I'm smart and I knew I could do it, but I wasn't expecting for it to happen. And when it happened, because I thought they were just sending me a letter, because I've been checking the IRS website to see if my nonprofit, the Estelle May Foundation, is on the search tool, and it hasn't been showing up because they said sometime it'll show up before you even get the letter. And so when I saw that I had a letter in the mail for them, I was like, okay, they must need more documentation for me, something I need to refill the application. And I opened that letter. The first time I read it, I was just like trying to figure out what I need, because my mind was going 1,000 miles a minute, because I'm like, I got to get to what they need. And when I took the time, because I was on the phone with my ex-husband at the time, so when I took the time to read the letter, I'm in the post office, like loud, screaming, telling him, reading the letter out loud, like so excited, y'all. I'm so happy. I'm so encouraged. I'm so motivated. I'm ready to work because I don't mind putting in work. With that being said, I want to tell myself, girl, you're a cute, smart, educated black girl, black woman, and I love that for me. So let's make sure we're speaking encouragement into ourselves. Let's make sure we're having people around us that can encourage us, and make sure we're reading books and things that encourage us and keep us going. Make sure we're in our Bible, and just stay positive through it all and put in the work. And like I said, I got so much work to put in. So let me read a little more out of this book. Like I said, I'm going back reading. And so it says, you can play the odds in your favor. Don't be so naive as to think that the world will give you anything for free. You must believe. You must work hard. You must show up. You must walk into every space with enough energy to fill a stadium in the belief that people deserve to know you. The hardest work of performing is getting people to buy the tickets. If you can get people in the room, then you can kick ass and be amazing and show up to meet them. That's when you get booked again. The thing that matters most is whether you are giving all of yourself to your audience. The measure of your effort should be based on your ethics, your moral, and your personal integrity. Always show up ready to do your best. Always show up ready to do your best. Always show up ready to do your best. Your cue to be excellent isn't how many people show up. I just told y'all that. How many followers you have, or how much money you're getting. If you start delivering stadium level effort, no matter the venue you're in, you will get booked time and time again. Show up to feel joy no matter what. Show up with your tools and resources and your questions. Show up like the next step is the most important, because it is. Even if everything appears to be wrong, know that you are enough. Always know that you're enough. A lot of people won't appreciate you, but you're enough. You're just not that person for them. You're just not that person for that job. You're just not that person for that space you're in at that moment. So let's stay encouraged. Let's be encouraged. And let's put in the work. We got a lot of work to do, y'all. I'm just getting started and I got a lot of work to do. I'm excited. I'm ready. And make sure y'all get a good book to read. This book is good for the ladies who have overcome a lot of obstacles, who have beat the odds and who are beating the odds, and who want to beat the odds. If you want to beat the odds, I suggest, ladies, you read this book. It's a good read for sure. You see, I'm on my second round in it. So yeah, let's talk next. I told y'all I want to talk about two people. I want to talk about Honeycomb Brazy, and I want to talk about Darius Miles. So I live in Alabama, and I'm going to be honest, for black men in Alabama, when you tend to get caught up in the law, you're guilty until you're proven innocent. And it is what it is. I got a 16-year-old son, and I be having to put it and tell him in his head, like, you know, you could be guilty by association, and it could be something you don't have nothing to do with. And they're going to make you, they say you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. You're going to be guilty until proven innocent in the state of Alabama, especially if you already have a record. Your parole could be revoked just by accusations, just by going to jail. Even if you haven't been charged, even if you haven't been to court, you still, your parole or probation will be revoked. And so that's what happened with Honeycomb Brazy. So he's a rapper from Mobile, Alabama. He's had trouble in the past. You know, he's from the hood, and he just had a lot of run-in with the police, you know, but he's a successful rapper. You know, he's come a really long way from shooting videos in like the projects to now shooting videos with Birdman. And I remember when I first heard him, my ex-husband playing, I'm like, who is that? You know, we're in New York, and he was like, that's Honeycomb Brazy. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so after I heard a couple of times, I'm like, okay, I fools with him. I like him. I like his music or whatever. I like his style. But so Honeycomb Brazy is currently incarcerated. He just got out of the feds. He back in the state now. So what happened with Honeycomb Brazy, he was out on parole. He had just got out, y'all. I'm talking about he probably went out a month. So he gets out, and his management, he gets his management to get him security. He's really high profile now. He's a high profile rapper. His management gets him security so that he could travel, do shows. They get pulled over by the police. And you know, your security, they have their weapons and stuff. And he's a felon from Alabama. You know, you're not supposed to be around the weapons when you're a felon. Even if you have security, you don't supposed to be in the same room as weapons. Any weapons, any narcotics, any drugs, anything, you know. So how about his security that was hired by his management were felons, and they had guns when they got pulled over and got searched? Even though no weapon was found on him, he's still doing the time. He still got his parole revoked. He hadn't been out a month. He recently went to court a little while ago, and he said he'll be out soon. But that's just one of those things where he was really just guilty by association. He just had the wrong people around him at the wrong time, and it's just so sad and unfortunate, because this man was really working, really trying to do better in life, really doing his thing in the music, trying to get his money back up. And he gets caught up in this with people that he trusts to handle his business. That's why you can't let everybody handle your business. You can't let everybody be in your business. A lot of times you just got to do it on your own. And being in Alabama, they real sketchy. They real sketchy out here. Evidently, they sketchy everywhere. He just need to be safe when he get out. And he's just going to have to get some trustworthy people around him, because it's sad and it's unfortunate, because Alabama, they don't play. They don't play. So when they do let him out, they're gonna be looking for him to come again. So hopefully when he get out, he plays his cards right. So y'all, free Honeycomb Brazy. Okay. Also, let's go to our next person. I want to talk about Darius Miles. So Darius Miles, he's not from Alabama, but he played basketball at the University of Alabama. And he was doing really good in basketball. Like this year, we went to the Final Four. We went to March Madness. And so, about 2 years ago, Darius Miles, I guess he was hanging out with another guy he went to college with. I don't even know if the guy was in the college he went out. They in the clubs, they having fun. They just had a basketball game. They drinking, I guess. And something happened in the club. I don't know if it had something to do with the female, but long story short, Darius Miles is incarcerated for the murder of this female, a 22-year-old female that a guy he was with killed. He was charged with the murder because they said Darius Miles gave the guy the gun. So now he's incarcerated. He's been incarcerated for 2 years, never been to jail. He has no bond. I guess he's a flight risk because he's not from Alabama. And I just feel like they're so unfortunate because he's a young black boy. He's a child. And this is his first time going to jail. He didn't do the shooting. He didn't supposed to have a gun if he was the one who gave that gun. He probably wasn't even the one that gave the guy the gun. And I feel like it's just so unfortunate that he's still incarcerated. He's a long way from home. And we have to understand that a lot of our boys who are playing, who are really good athletes and who are playing sports, they come from these marginalized neighborhoods. They come from nothing and they come here and they just a lot of times get mixed up in the wrong crowd and they make bad decisions. And they end up in situations that they wish they could avoid it, but they're young and they're learning. And for him to be in jail for 2 years in the Tuscaloosa County Jail, which is like, I heard was nasty. It was bad down there. The food nasty, the jail nasty. Like and I think they've been doing renovations because they've been sending inmates to other little counties while they renovate. But he's stuck in there and my heart aches for him. And his lawyer been putting in so much work trying to get him at least a bond to come home because he don't deserve to be in there. I don't feel like he deserves to be in there. He's young. He made a mistake. He was hanging around the wrong crowd. And I feel like he's learned his lesson. He didn't even kill the girl. He didn't do it. He didn't pull the trigger. So I don't understand why he don't have a bond. So my heart goes out to him. My heart goes out to his family because I can only imagine because I have a son. And that's just like Honeycomb Brazy. You know, my heart goes out to them because they're put in situations they're just guilty by association. And they're guilty until proven innocent. And these are cases that you can blatantly and clearly see that they didn't commit the crime. They were just around the wrong people at the wrong time. And it's just so unfortunate that our black men are getting caught up in the system like this at a high rate. The recidivism rate is super high. So when they get out, they got to walk on thin ice. Any little thing they do could be held against them and they'll end up back in there. And so, y'all, we just have to stay prayed up. We have to wear our armor, wear your full armor of God at all times to just block all that negativity, all that hatred, all the people that's against you, and just stay focused and just figure out who's for you and who's not. And you gotta keep it pushing. You gotta keep it moving. But yeah, free Honeycomb Brazy, free Darius Miles ASAP. Another thing I feel like too, I was having a conversation with somebody and we talked about a father or a mother, being a good father and being a good mother. Like, what's considered being a good father? What's considered being a good mother? Because as we all know, if we're parents, there is no handbook to parenting. There's no handbook to parenting. We can do everything we can. And you never know if how your child will turn out. You never know the mistakes they'll make, how they'll be handled. And so we have to be in our children's lives. Mothers and fathers we need to be in our children's lives. Just because we're spoiling them with financial things and materialistic things, that doesn't make us a good parent. I feel like a good parent is there mentally for their child. strong mental health, a provider for our children, showing our children love. That way on down the road, they can open up to us more. We having these conversations with them as young children, so as they get older, we will hope that the mistakes that a lot of our black men are making, that they'll be able to see the difference of, oh, I shouldn't go there today, or I shouldn't be around these people. And praying over our children. So a lot of people want to talk about being a good mother or a good father, but it's really no handbook. Because what you consider a good parent does not mean the next person consider that a good parent. I feel like a good parent is gonna love their child, have an open relationship with their child, where their child can come to them about anything. We was talking about, as females, certain things we didn't feel comfortable going to our parents with, being teenagers and things like that. So being a good parent is having open communication with your children. A lot of children do stray away because we don't have that open communication with them. A lot of children stray away because there's a lot of tension between the mother and father. And we put our children in the middle of our disagreements, our arguments, and things like that. And so what we have to do is, mom and daddy gotta be a team. No matter how much we broke each other's heart, no matter how much we've been through, you still have to be a team. And when your child or your children know that y'all a team, it ain't no back and forth. I'm gonna tell my dad, I'm gonna tell my mama. See, a lot of parents don't understand when they don't agree and they're not a team and they're making decisions without each other. The children are gonna pick and choose and run back and forth and cause a lot more conflict because mama said yeah, but daddy said no. So since daddy said no, I'm going to go to mama and we're going to cause a bigger conflict because now we're on two different pages. I feel like us as parents need to be a team. And I feel like that helps a lot with our children in the long run as well. Because like me, when my son even though I'm more of the disciplinary, for some reason when I say, I'm going to tell your dad, he get right. But I'm like, I'm the disciplinary. But I have to let him know that me and daddy a team. Me and daddy might be having our issues, but I ain't finna tell son that. I'm gonna act like me and daddy still cool. So it's really you a good parent, you a bad parent. It's really about loving your children. I've seen a lot of parents who I felt like would be considered a bad parents because they ain't raised their kids, but they children love them to death now that they grown. They always want to be around them now that they grown because it was still some love there, or maybe they're seeking that love still. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because we want to build a unit. Like with my nonprofit, I want to work a lot in marginalized community where we have a lot of high crime rates and help out these parents who are having these financial issues and need resources that lack resources. We need to figure out what resources are available that'll make life easier because a lot of parents are dealing with so much financially. They're dealing with so much in this economy that is making them hard to parent. They're making it hard to parent, so they let the children do whatever because they have to work 2 jobs, so they have to miss out on their children's lives, and their children running the streets, and now they catching cases early. So because the resources aren't there. You have a house full of kids, but you got to work 2 jobs. So you at work in the morning and when they get out of school, you at work. So I would really want to work a lot within these communities where we can bring more resources to figure out what resources are available. Ain't gonna be no gatekeeping. We trying to put it back into our community. We trying to make things easier and lighter for our families so that our boys and our children don't have to get out and go rob and scheme one another and end up in that number. So let's all just come together and work together. Like I said, I got a lot that I want to do. I got a lot that I'm working on, and I'm excited about it. But yeah, with that being said, yeah, I got a question. I got something I want to touch on. Because like on social media and stuff, it's like always, it be like a lot of men in my inboxes. And I wanted to know, Does it make a woman look thirsty to pursue a guy? If she sees somebody that she like interested in, does it make her thirsty? Because like in my generation, I feel like growing up, the men pursued the women. And so the men see what they like, and if you like them back, then we can converse, or we can take to the, or just whatever. But for me growing up, I always felt like if a female pursue a guy, then it seems thirsty. But I'm at a point in my life. I'm in my 30s. I'm getting on up there. And I ain't finna sit here and just keep letting all these different men, just whoever want to talk to me, talk to me. Like, when I see something I like, would that look thirsty for me to pursue something that I like? If I see something real fine, got it together, is it thirsty for me to pursue something I like? Is it thirsty for me to send the heart eyes into their inbox? I just want to know. I need y'all help, because why do we have to wait for men to pursue us? I'm starting to wonder. I always thought it was thirsty looking, like, but men, does that make us look thirsty? Or does it stroke y'all ego? Like, okay, she feeling me, or, because sometimes you might not even notice a person. You might not notice a person, or they may not notice you. So I feel like you have to, shoot your shot. I'm ready to shoot my shot. If I see someone I like, I'm single, and I wouldn't mind having a little friend that I really like, that I'm really attracted to, that I can enjoy. But with that too, like, you could see something that's fine, but then you get around them and it just ain't there. Y'all don't really mesh together. But I just feel like we in a new time now, and like this new generation, if they see something like, they gonna holler. Like, them men in their young 20s, they be trying to talk to me, and I be like, look, I'm auntie age at this point. Y'all can't you 22, you trying to talk to me. I be telling them, look, I'm grown. I ain't finna play with y'all little boys. 22 is just young. It's young. It's young. And I be like, look, y'all, I'm auntie age. That stuff y'all doing, like, I already went through that little part. I mean, y'all, that's too young though. Like, that's young. That's like baby young to me. 22. Even if you cute, I don't know. But if you successful, like, I might give you a chance. I don't want no little 22-year-old dope boy for sure. But but age, when it comes to being grown, age really, I feel like nothing but a number. And I say that now because I know people in their 40s and 50s that still out here running the streets like these little 20-year-old boys, still trying to have multiple women, still want to be a pimp player. And I hate that for them. And they always say, oh, a wife should be this, a woman should be this, but you ain't even husband material. That'd be my thing. And then some women say a husband should be this, but you ain't even wife material. See, I'm going to make sure it go. It ain't going to be no double standards over here, okay? So, if you going to say what you want a wife to be, at least be husband material. And if you going to want to say what a husband should be, at least be wife material. That's all I can say about that. And with that being said, let's talk about Kevin and Drika Gates, because Kevin, you stressing me out. Kevin is like a mentor to me. Kevin's music has helped me through a lot. And a lot of people, when I tell them I love Kevin Gates, they be like, oh, he a freaky, this, he, that. But his music is just not on no sex level. That's just the stuff y'all know. It's just the stuff y'all know. If you feel like all his music is just on a sex level, that's so not true. But he is a little freaky now. And he's fine. But he's married, so. But Kevin Gates need to grow up. I mean, I don't know if he going through like a midlife crisis right now, but first of all, if you lose Drika, I feel like if Drika wake up one morning and say, look, I got the papers ready, and pop out with something bad, it's going to break him down. It's going to humble him so bad. Because why are you popping out with all these different women? And you want society to accept these women. He's looking for acceptance. Because he's wrong. Whatever they got going on. I know Drika I know she ain't perfect. But whatever they got going on, she's keeping it between them in their business. She's keeping it private. But he all out here with this woman, that woman, trying to make her jealous, trying to prove a point to society, trying to get back at her for whatever they have going on. And it's just not a good look, because your wife she really all that. Drika Gates is really all that. Like, natural body, beautiful face, humble, minds her business, take care of her children. Like, how could you can't beat that with a bat. Y'all been together. She was there with you from the beginning and helped you build that up, and you talked about that throughout the years. So you can't say she hasn't been there for you. Y'all built this brand together. And if she leaves you, it's over with. Because God gave you a good woman. God gave him a good woman. But a lot of times we will get so comfortable in our relationships and in our marriages and feel like we're the prize, and we start to lose focus on what's really the main goal. And they have a lot of problems, I'm sure, that they have to work through. And bringing other people in and jumping from relationship to relationship is not gonna make it work. And then you playing with these other women's hearts. Like, you still love your wife. Stop playing with these other people's hearts, trying to get over her. Because now you putting another one of God's women, his children that he loved, in a situation, in a bad situation, to have their heart broken, to look stupid at the end, to feel less than what they are. So he's really just making the situation worse. And now he out with Brittany Renner, and I'm like, boy, Kevin, get it together, because you talk too much. I'm starting to believe what you saying is cap. And talking about, and then one song, when I get my next wife, well, boy, is she gonna take you for everything you got? Because if it was any other woman, if it wasn't Drika, it was any other woman, she would have been gone. She would have been gone and took you for half already. Everything would have been signed and deal. Y'all would have been back and forth to court, child support, alimony, everything. Drika is a strong one, but one day she may wake up and like, look, I ain't gonna let you keep disrespecting me. She love her husband. She's still not speaking down on him. She's still not doing anything extra for attention. And I love that for her. But I know she going through it. But sometimes you could just be so used to something, what you going through, that is just another thing to you. Like, oh, we'll get past it. He's just going through one of his phases. We'll get past it. He's just feeling himself. So I wish them the best. We listen, we don't judge, but Kevin Gates, get it right. You got a beautiful wife. And that's for anybody who in a relationship. Get it together, because when you lose that person that's willing to give your all, don't think you can always just double back. You can't always double back, because people will replace you. Everybody is replaceable. People will replace you. People will move on with their lives and act like you never existed. And it's going to hurt when you try to come back. But at the same time, you have to realize everybody is not for everybody. Everybody is not meant to be together. Everybody is not meant to get married. You just have to know. You just have to know when you're wasting your time. You just have to know when it's time to let go. You just have to know when it's just this something I'm willing to work through. This something I'm willing to put the work in for. This something that, even though everything isn't perfect, we still good. Even though everything isn't perfect, this still the person I'm willing to put in this work for. This is the person I see they're trying. You have to be trying. You can't be out here playing. You can't be seeing there's so many people out here playing in these streets, ripping and running. Then when they get caught in situations, they want people to always wait on them. But you gotta appreciate who you have. You have to do what you have to do to make your relationship and your marriages work, because some people not just gonna sit around and let you just dog them. Some people not gonna sit around and be the one putting in all the work. People want to enjoy life. I feel like life is about enjoying it and enjoying it. And so if I'm with somebody, I want us to be able to, if we can't enjoy each other, if we can't enjoy life together, it ain't even no reason for us to be together. It ain't even no reason for our name to be attached. Because I want to have fun. I'm a fun girl. I be playing cool, but I'm a fun girl in real life. I'm very fun. But I like to have a good time and I want to enjoy like, and I ain't talking about we ain't got to be club and we ain't got to be, I'm the type, we ain't even got to travel all the time. We gonna have a good, I'm the type, if we really feeling each other, we gonna have a good time at the house. We gonna be cooking. We gonna turn up at the house. We're going to have a good time together. I want to enjoy life. I want to be loved. We all want to be loved. We all need love. I don't care what nobody say. We all need love. We all need loyalty. We all want somebody. A lot of women say, oh, I'm glad I'm not married. I'm glad I'm not married. You a lie, because all women, I know, like from my generation, you knew you wanted to eventually get married. You wanted to have this wedding, this dress. So just because you haven't been married, you have to stop saying that. You have to stop saying that and put in the work and just find a person who's willing to do that for you. A lot of times we dealing with people who ain't even gonna do that. They could try to sell you a dream, but you know if a person is willing to marry you or willing to be with you for the rest of their life, because they're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you. And they're gonna do what they have to do to keep you around. They're going to do what they have to do to keep you around. I heard a quote. I can't remember where this quote came from. And like I said, I've been married twice. And the quote says, your marriage is your child's first love story. And so, and it hit hard. It hit really, really hard. Because it could be believable. I feel like we are a product of our environment and we do learn from what we see. But at the same time, as a parent, I feel like through those marriages, I talk to my son a lot even now about, and not only I have my ex-husband, they talk to him about girls and they showed him how you should treat your woman. And so, that's just one of those things where we all want our children to love. And I feel like a lot of men, though, I feel like their mothers don't teach them how to be a husband, or their fathers don't teach them how to be a husband. And then on the same token, women, I feel like a lot of us haven't been taught, especially when you come from single parent homes. Like our grandparents were probably married and we spent a lot of time with them, but a lot of times in our homes themselves that we didn't have a 2-family home. So we didn't see what a marriage looked like. We weren't taught what a marriage was look like. It's a lot of things we weren't taught. We weren't talked about credit. So we have to teach our children these things. We have to talk to them about them. We have to be able to open up, because relationships are hard and marriage is hard. But it's all a learning process. Life is about learning. Life is hard. Life ain't easy. Life is hard. It's going to be so many difficulties that come up in life. Everything can feel like they're going so good and here go another problem. But you just got to take it head on. You have to be strong-minded. And that's something I had to teach myself. Like, I finally learned that when them problems come, we just going to have to face them head on and just whatever come with it. And we got to make it through it. And then when things get good, get what? Something gonna eventually come along. I ain't gonna wait for it to come along, but I want to be prepared for it when it come along, especially mentally, because being prepared mentally is one of the biggest things. You could be prepared financially to pay stuff off, but mentally, your mind, you got to be ready to go through it. You got to be ready to go through the negativity, what people may say about you, the way people may look at you. So life is hard, but it's up to us how we deal with the hard times. As always, thank y'all for joining the May Experience podcast. Make sure y'all tune in. As always, stay sucker free. Free Honeycomb Brazy. Free Darius Miles. Thank y'all for tuning in. The May Experience podcast.
I live live in the red. I get no fuck by what he say. Make me come pull up where he stay. Be humping P-Face. Should I play on San Andreas? One of more mission than CJ. Ever been locked in the cell. Receiving no mail.